I'm having a no makeup day today.
I love.
Um,
Oh, good. I love that. I was going to have a no makeup day, but I've got a film after this, so I'm just going to put a bit on.
well,
But
go on.
no, you go.
I was just going
Are
to
we
say,
going to
I'm
start? Have we
working in the
started?
house all day. I say it all day. I'm going to do this with you. I've got a bit of client work to do. Go out for a walk and working on my stuff. And I was like, and it's admin behind the scenes. And to be honest with you, I don't need a full
But you
face of
look like
makeup for that.
you've got makeup on
Oh, I
anyway.
love this
You look
to
beautiful.
me. Thank you.
You look stunning, and I love the background. And I love it so much. It's like spring. That is spring. Oh, you're such a vibe, Laura.
Spring
Um,
vibes.
Welcome everybody to the Delulu and Solulu podcast. I'm Shardene.
And I'm Laura.
And we're here to talk about Delulus. Delulus meaning any downloads you might have from the universe, any goals that you have, any dreams and wishes that you aspire to. Let's get those Delulus and make them Trululu by giving you some sort of Solulu to help you. So at the moment, me and Laura are talking about our Delulus and what Solulus we've come up with, what Solulus we can help each other with. If you're watching this and not listening, yes, I have cucumber on my face because I don't have any of those.
Not a filter.
Actual cucumber, because I don't really like putting those little eye masks on. I don't really know what's in them, you know, the little things you put under your face.
Yeah.
And also yesterday I ate some processed food, which is something I don't really like doing, and I've woken up and my eyes are super puffy.
Right.
So my Delulu is that I just eat so well that I never have these adverse effects of any food on my body, like no inflammation. That is my Delulu.
Inflammation.
It's just pure inflammation.
I
face.
I suffer.
You suffer. You just suffer through.
Yeah, I will put those yellow and dry things on my eyes.
Yeah, well, I just don't know. I feel like I've learned too
You know
much.
what though? Like cucumber is always so readily available in the fridge, so
And it's
why
cold.
not just use nature's remedies?
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your Delulu? I wonder if it's the same as like, because we tend to be in sync with these things.
Yeah. What's my Delulu? My Delulu is to do more creative stuff, so more writing. So I love writing. My Delulu is that I am a very successful writer, and that absolutely makes me very abundant in all not just money, but with time, with opportunities. So my Delulu is that, and you know what? I'm not writing enough to make that come true, Lulu.
So how can you integrate it more into your life? Because is it a time thing? Is it an energy thing?
Do you know what I think it is? It's more of a why thing. So I know I can do it. Like I know I can do it. The more you do something, the better you become anyway. So I've got no problem with doing it, starting it and thinking, actually, it can be better. Like it's not that. I think my why may not be strong enough. So
Well,
sometimes
I'm going to interject because I don't think a creative outlet should have a why. You should do it because you want to do it. So maybe because you're putting the pressure on the why, it's holding you back.
And I would agree with that to some respect, because I honestly believe that when you're being creative, you're just a channel for the ideas. You've just got to be open. You've got to put yourself in a situation that allows those ideas to flow through you, which I'm not really doing. But I still feel like for me, a why is important because I'm getting distracted by other things. And because I don't have a strong, clear why, I'm letting those things distract me because I'm not sure what it's distracting me from. Yes, it's distracting me from writing.
Is it like a little bit of procrastination around the writing?
Yeah.
Or is it just not, like you're saying, it's not strong enough, like it's not as prioritised as other aspects?
Yeah, and that's because, I think it's partly because I'm not integrated into the idea that paying attention to this, allowing myself to be this vessel and this channel and getting on with it is going to allow me to feel so fulfilled. It's going to allow me to do more things. I probably have more time to do other things. And also, I don't want to be blocked off to this creativity that I know I have access to. I feel like the less I do it, the less receptive I am to it. Like that,
so you're almost forcing it because you feel like you have to. And I always say, if you feel like you have to do something, well, actually, if you feel like you should do something, then you shouldn't.
No, but it's not that. It's not like I should do it. It's like I know this is what I'm meant to be doing. Like I know this is for me, and I know that if I don't do it, it's like Wayne Dyer said, "Don't let the music die inside you." Like if I lie on my deathbed and I haven't done these things, I will regret it so much. And I think that's what I need to hone into as well. That fear, that feeling of regret, is going to be so painful. It's going to be horrendous. So I need to get on with it now. So I need to step into that state of this is who I am, like step into that creativity and just do the thing, like sit down. All the things we spoke about on the other podcast one, I think, about setting timers, doing all that stuff. I feel like I just need to get on with that, because that's my Delulu.
Well, how are we going to fix it? We need the Solulu. So what have you tried so far? Have you tried anything to get it integrated? Have you dedicated a day to it just to do that and nothing else?
I feel like, no, I haven't. And do you know what? I've been writing. I've got this amazing idea. So I spoke about this the other day, where I said that I've got such a good idea that I have to write it. I have to write this idea. I messaged a producer because, remember I said to you, I can't be a hypocrite and tell people to do things if I'm not doing it. That producer has got back to me. So I definitely need to, I definitely need to channel this. So it is more about, I don't want to fall into the trap of saying, right, I should do this. Like I absolutely have to do this. It's not, it's a want. I want to do this. Like I need to do this.
Do you think because you had that immediate reply, like you've got a lucky girl syndrome right there, that little dopamine hit has made you basked in glory and you've thought, right, that's a box ticked now.
Yeah.
But maybe just enjoy the moment of, well, I got an immediate reply. So you know it's got legs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now I think you just need a dedicated sanction time, but it's actually dedicated sanction time. Not, do you know what? I'll go at the gym there, and then I'll go do this meeting here, and then I'll do podcast with Laura there, because this is my problem. So what I find, so I'm having this day to day. So I have been meaning for about, well, months to do my rebrand, to systemize my services, and to migrate my website. And today is the bloody day. It is happening. I have literally said no to everything apart from you on here this morning, because I knew it was going to get me in the energy, and we probably had talked about something. I'm like, right, I'm going to make this happen. Because if I sit here and I'll talk, and I do the amount of people that I talk to for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they're like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, I need to sort my website. I've been sourcing my website for months. Yeah. Do you know how much I've sorted on it? Nothing. Because I don't, like you said, I've not prioritized it. I've not made it the most important thing. But now it is the obstacle. Not just that, but like the way that I visualize the web business. It's the obstacle in the way of my creativity. I just want to make value-led videos. I want to go play on different mediums. I want to see what's trending. I want to see what's going on in the industry. But there is no point in me making content to promote what I do if it doesn't look and act the way that I want it to. So this is why I'm like, right, focus on the system today and the process. And I've just given it its full day. And I've got some little walks in there between where I can go and get a little eye fresh, but the whole day is dedicated to that. And maybe that's what you need, just a dedicated day.
Do you know what as well? The fact you've just said that about walks, a lot of people, creative people, I know, like even like Einstein would dedicate walks to split up the thinking, to allow space for more stuff to fall in. So I think it's great that you've got those walks in there. I've got something in my eye. Oh no! Oh, it's hair. It's fine. What is that? Yeah, so that's amazing. But you're right. I think it does need that dedicated time. And some of the things that I do to get me into, I feel like it's a state of being. If I'm going to do this, has been a certain state. So some of the things that actually, as you were talking, then have come to mind that I'm definitely going to do is I love music. I love music as a medium. It makes me feel so much. I'm such a musical person. And I also love to dance. And one of the things that I love to do is I love to put on some music, close my eyes and dance as if I've done the thing that I want to do. So I dancing and feeling the emotions and feelings of what I've just had this great day of creating, or I'm at the end where I've finished this piece. How does that feel? So I know what it is that I want. Like I'm in that state now, and I'm almost like acting from the end. I'm like my future self. So what decisions does my future self make? So I'm putting myself in that state using music and just dancing. And also it's like a natural, like, you're moving, aren't you? Like when you move, you have a chemical reaction in your body anyway, like your
See, I
lymphatic system.
love this. Do you know what? And I think we've sort of spoke about this analogy before. So anyone who's watching who's just like, I'm not dancing by myself with my eyes closed. It's the idea that if you won the lottery,
Yeah.
and they call you and they're like, you are like a multi-millionaire, but it's going to take a couple of days for that to land in your bank, but you're still going to start acting like the multi-millionaire. It's not physically there yet, but your energy will shift and change. And it's the same vibe. Like, you are a writer, you are making this happen, so you're going to start acting in the way that you would had you finished your fourth book and it's getting launched, or whatever it is, the writing that you were doing.
Yeah.
If you're acting in the energy, then you're attracting what it is, and then that motivates you to take action.
And you feeling like you're above it almost. You're sort of like above it and you're landing on it.
So and it's you're seeing it play out.
Yeah. So instead of like trying to like climb up the ladder to it, it's like it's so much easier to go down onto something than it is to like reach up to something. We do this in singing. When you sing and you have to hit a high note, you imagine you're going down onto the note, because when you're going up to the note, your voice strains and it sounds horrendous.
I love
yeah,
it.
but what you do is, like, I don't even know how to explain. It's almost like a mental thing. Like, you imagine you're sinking down onto that note, the high note, but you're going down on it. You're above it.
Already elevated above the note, therefore it's easier to reach.
Yeah, you're above it.
Oh my God, wait till I get in the shower later.
As you're singing. But I feel like that applies to other things. So the idea of stepping into future self, the idea of like, right, I'm at the end of my goal, I'm in the state I would be in when I've achieved my goal, allows things to be easier because you're dropping on it. And also that analogy of the lottery win, where yes, you're now a lottery winner, you are multi-millionaire, but those millions aren't in your bank, so you can't go out and spend any of it because it's not physically there, but you are still a millionaire. Like, so if your Delulu is that you have loads of money, why don't you feel that like, oh, it's there, it's coming, like it is you? How do you feel about things? Like, how do you think about things? I think that's such a cool, it's fun as well. It's like, you could look at something and say, oh, I'm going to buy that. Anything, you'd be like, oh, I'm just going to buy that. Oh, I'll come back and get that. How enjoyable would that process be?
Just like not looking at the price tag, just like, I want it and I'm getting it.
Come back for it. But because a lot of the time, I've heard this so many times, it's not about the destination, it's the journey. Like, you enjoy the journey to something. Sometimes it's nice just to know you're going to have something. Like when you book a holiday, it's enjoyable, the build up, it's exciting. Like, sometimes it's fun to pack a case, not for me because I'm last minute, sometimes it's fun to pack a case, to plan your outfits. All of that is part of the process, and you're not even on holiday yet. Work becomes more enjoyable because you're like, well, do you know what, Andy, I don't care what you've got to say because I'm going on holiday in 5 days. Like, things don't bother you because you know you're going to be on a beach in 5 days time. So like, if I know I'm going to be a really successful, not and produce amazing work, that feels so much better than to approach work from a point of, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Oh, I've got to force myself to sit down and do it. Like, that's not enjoyable. And you should enjoy the journey of whatever your Delulu is. You need to enjoy the journey to it.
I completely agree. Even if the journey, like you say, like with holidays, obviously the journey is a lot more enjoyable. But I'm very much of the school of thought that if the journey to something that I'm trying to create is a hard road to go down most of the time, it's probably not my destination.
Oh, wow. Even if you got into...
Because there is many things that come my way that I have been like, yes, great opportunity. But you know as well as I'm very much kind of intuition led. If it feels wrong, it's probably wrong.
Don't ignore your gut. That's right. Because sometimes you can try. Because sometimes you have to discern what the difference between this is just me being in my comfort zone and not wanting to get out of it, and then actually this isn't right for me. And sometimes you have to dip your toe out of that comfort zone to see, don't you?
Exactly.
And feel...
Yeah, this is the thing. It's like, you've got to be careful. Am I putting off an opportunity because I feel like I don't deserve it? That is completely different feeling. And you know, you're sat in your comfort zone. You're very well aware.
But some people aren't aware, actually. So what I would say to some people who are like, actually, I'm really confused by that. I don't know what's my intuition. I don't know what is just me, like, being pathetic and not wanting to do it. Not that you're pathetic if you're in a comfort zone, but you know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel.
For me, it's kind of like, I think that fear and excitement are the same feeling.
Yeah, they are.
So if you feel scared of something, it's actually excitement for the unknown.
Yeah.
Whereas if your ears prick up and it's more kind of, this doesn't feel right, and scared are very different feelings. That's how I would approach it.
And also, think back over your life. Are there points in your life where you think that I should not have done that, and I had that feeling in my gut and I ignored my gut? Because I definitely have those moments where I look back and think that was a turning point and I ignored my own intuition because I didn't even know what it was. But you can go back.
Hindsight is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, use it as best you can, because I think then you'll understand those feelings 100%. I'm just using my phone as a mirror here.
I was going to say, my eyebrows look lovely. What have you got on?
So much. It's the Be Bare Brow Bay Kit, which I love.
Gorgeous. We'll put that link down below.
Oh yeah,
also send it to me because I'm very much enjoying this fluffy brow look you've got going on. I'm also jealous. I'm like, I wish I'd done my makeup now.
I have on, yeah, I'm just in my brows. Yeah, so guys, if you want guys, my Delulu crew. I don't know what we're going to call our listeners.
I'm sure
they can tell us. We'll
figure it out.
But
for the Delulu crew.
Getting you to Delulu. But I think that's a really important thing to learn, the difference between intuition and just being a bit of a pussy. I don't know how else to say it because that's how I say it to myself. Like, come on now, just have the guts. Because
like, oh my god, Shah just dropped the P bomb.
I don't know what else to say because sometimes
I feel like I've been given permission to say even more rude words than I usually would.
Like, it's just having the guts, isn't it? That's all it is. Like, everything goes back to the stomach, doesn't it? Like your guts, your intuition.
Up here, it's like you're trying to make something logical, but what we're talking about, sometimes there is no logic to be applied. It's just, this is meant to be, like, it's for me, I'm going for it. And like, but then I think you feel that in your heart. So like, this is for me. Then either, what you call it, like, the intuition and the fear is felt around the stomach area. That's how I feel like it is. So if I know something's not for me, like, you get a gut feeling, and I know, and I'm like, and it's not that I don't want to do it or I can't be asked to do it. It's the fact that I'm like, I'm not vibing.
Yeah.
Vibing, that's my word. I'm like, this is not my vibe. You know, if it doesn't match with you, or if it doesn't lead to something where you think it will go, where you vision yourself going, then it's like, probably not for you. But if you're scared as fuck, it's probably for you.
Yeah, just try it.
It's just excitement.
And remember, everything's working out for you. So sometimes I always think about the Mel Robbins story where, you know, Mel Robbins, who wrote 5 Second Rule. Yeah, so when she wrote that book, she was like determined to be on the New York Times bestseller list. She's like, I'm writing a best-selling book. Don't care what anyone says. So she put in loads of work. She did loads of promotion, loads of podcasts. So when the book launched, when it was on sale, no one bought it. Like, nobody bought it. And she kept checking Amazon, no sales. And she was like, to God, this cannot be happening because I've put so much work into this. There is no way this is not going to happen for me. But again, she kept checking the sales, no sales. And eventually she remembered that she'd done an audiobook as well and put it on Audible. And she got an email from Audible to say, like, your book's #1. It's like a best-selling book, fastest selling book on Audible. And what had happened was, because she'd self-published, because she wanted to keep all the rights to her book, she didn't want to sell the rights. When so many people on Amazon were trying to buy her book, Amazon thought something was wrong. But because there was no publishing house, they couldn't get in touch with her. So what they did is they just withheld the sales, said, well, we're not selling it because we don't know what's happening. So instead of people buying the book, they went to Audible and bought the Audible version, which meant Audible then said, because you've got like the fastest selling book ever on Audible, we want to give you an exclusive deal. So they gave her the first ever podcast on Audible. She had all these amazing opportunities. She never got on that best-selling list. I don't know, she might be now, but with that book, 5 Second Rule, she didn't get on the list. But what she says about that experience is, it didn't pan out the way she wanted it to, it was better. Like, she couldn't even imagine that happening because it had never happened to anyone before. So she says your goals are your beacon. Like, you just follow them because you don't know where they're going to lead.
But this is the thing, because you are capped with what your vision is.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, how many times have you had this vision and this goal, and it's happened, but it's happened so much more than you expected, and your mind is blown, and you're like, wow, I could never imagine this. But then it elevates you to your next level.
Absolutely. And even the bad stuff, like, I've spoken about this before, I'm sure, but not on this podcast, but in 2019, end of 2019, I had to leave my house. I had to move back in with my mom and dad for a little bit, and and I didn't want to do it. I was like, oh, please. And I didn't want to go.
Why?
Why, Lord, why? But I was like, right, let's move into the box room. But as it pans out, end of 2019, me and my children we moved 100 miles away, basically, from where we were living to my parents' house. And then it was like pandemic, wasn't it? And you couldn't really travel that much. And I got to spend 2020, majority of 2020, with my entire family, because of something that at the time I was like, this is bad. Like, I don't want this to happen, really. But it all worked out, because obviously everything works out perfectly for me. But I think sometimes when you're stepping into a situation and it looks like it's not for you, just trust, because you never know. You never know how things are going to work out.
I love this story. I know it as well. So I'm just like, oh, I hope it's just inspired someone. Because this is the thing, sometimes you'll sit there and you'll, like, it might be your worst case scenario, but at that time, you don't know why that's happening. And then when you reflect and look at the bigger picture, like you just have done, you're like, well, that's why it needed to happen that way. So right in the moment, it might not be what you expect, but it's part of the plan. So trust it.
Yeah, always look for opportunities, even if you feel like, say if you found this podcast today and you feel like you're in a bad place, like I've been in like some pits of despair, I'm not gonna lie, through my life. But if you find yourself in that place and you think, actually, I'm not really living the life that I want to live, from where you are, don't wait, don't think, well, I'll try and get to another place and then feel better now. Like, try and look for the little opportunities, those little bits of gratitude right now. And the more you do that, the more opportunities will come to you. So even if you feel like worst case scenario, there's always a way out of it, always. And how you respond is everything, I feel.
I completely agree with that. Like you say, I'm quite much of I'm an optimistic person naturally. And usually when shit hits the fan, I'm quite capable of stepping out of it, looking at it and being like, right, this is absolutely horrendous. However, there must be some glimmer of hope somewhere. And then once you find your one little tiny bit of glimmer, then others will follow, and it will. And like you said, I've been in pits of despair in different ways, and you will find your own resilience, and you have to be resilient in life. It is what it is. And if you can't control it, what you can control is your reaction to it. So you can sit there and be like, everything's shit, what's the point? Or you can be like, do you know what? The sun's shining. So I'm going to go get some fresh air. And then you'll go for your fresh air, and you don't know what's going to unfold as you've taken yourself out of a scenario to create one that's slightly more positive. And then that's where it all starts.
And you never know who you're going to meet. You never know what's around the corner. Life comes at you fast. You never know what's going to happen, ever.
Open to receiving.
Yeah.
It will come and get you when it needs to.
I think we're so fortunate. I mean, part of it is luck, because look, we're born in a country where we're safe, we're secure, and even after despair are other people's dreams. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly. And I always think back to, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but there's a video, and it's a little boy's birthday, and all he's asked for his birthday. So it's a village in a third world country. Anyway, the mum and dad have come in, and it's a tiny cake and a bottle of Coca-Cola, and there's about 20 kids, and I've never seen joy like it. Like, I can walk 2 seconds down the road and buy a can of Coke if I wanted to. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I would choose to be honest, but it is what it is. Like, the convenience of having something that to me is something that I can choose to have or not. Whereas this child, it was his dream on his birthday as like a 6-year-old. I want a bottle of Coke to share with my friends. And I just think that like unadulterated joy is something that you should aspire for, because sometimes, like you're saying, what you already have is somebody else's aspiration, no matter where you are.
Honestly, I feel like that inspires me daily to feel like, get a grip.
Literally get a grip. It's like, you're messing. But do you know what? This is mine. So if I'm having a bit of a shitty day, I literally will say to myself, you've got a roof over your head, you've got a warm house, and you've got food on the table. And they are my like kind of 3 things that I reiterate to myself, because they are such basic human rights, and I have them, which then lends me to be able to do amazing things and have amazing opportunities. So if I'm sat there whinging about, oh, well, this hasn't happened the way that I wanted it to, but you know what? Your conditions are right. Your conditions are right for opportunity. And it does start with environment.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. Wellness, environment. You've got to feel good and you've got to be in that position. But and we're so fortunate to be in that position. But I remember when I was little, my goal, which my Delulu when I was a child was, because we didn't really have that much money growing up, my Delulu was that I could go to a supermarket and buy anything I wanted without worrying in the supermarket. And when I achieved that, I was like, this is amazing. But what's so funny is, like, with how expensive things are getting, that is that is a legit goal, isn't it?
I'm not starting to talk about the price of Dove.
Let's not. Because at the end of the day, we're always going to find the money. We're always going to find the money to pay for it. Like, that is my attitude. Like, I'm always going to have the money. I can't tell myself anything different. Like, I can't allow myself to think any differently, because the minute I do, I'm going to stop seeing those opportunities to make the money, to be able to get what it is that I want.
I completely get that. Like, this is the thing. Like, we've spoken about this before in terms of value, and we were talking about ketchup. And like, you kind of misconstrued the fact that I wasn't buying the posh ketchup because the other one was cheaper. But it's not. It's about, I don't value ketchup. Yeah. So having ketchup in is just because it's run out. So I'll replace it. But I'll replace it with something that costs 69p rather than that costs £2.69, because I don't particularly eat ketchup. But it's there. I don't know. Maybe it's just a tradition thing. Whereas if I want something, I don't care how much it costs, because I want it and I've earned it and I deserve it. What a princess syndrome vibe. Right, mine. But but I like, what am I trying to say? I don't want traditional things. You just want, like, I'll be like, I want that drone.
Because I think sometimes we grow up and we're conditioned by society to want the things that society tells us to want. But if we don't want them, that's okay. So if you're listening to this thing, I don't want those things that everyone tells me that I want, that's cool. Don't do it. Yeah. Don't change things that you don't want.
Yeah, like, I'm very much a fan that understands that I do not think that you should buy things to impress people you don't care about. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, what I believe is a Bentley and a Ford will get you at the same destination.
There you go then.
That's how I feel about it. A car's a car.
Yeah, well, that's true. And to other people, a car is their life. So whatever works for you.
But that's the thing. Like, if you love it and it's your thing, and you like, it's, you know, a part of how you like show success to yourself, then go for it. But like I've always said, like, there's no point in having an expensive purse to not put no money in.
Absolutely none whatsoever. What you So it is about what you want, like how you want to live your life. And if that is completely different to other people, then it doesn't matter. Just stay true to who you are. We've got to talk about lucky girl syndrome really quick, because we've got to finish.
Go on. Let's lucky girl the day up, because I want to go for my walk.
Syndrome. Me and Laura play this game where we've got lucky girl syndrome. Basically, we are lucky girls. Everything is always working out for us perfectly. We get in that energy of everything working out for us, and it does, doesn't it? Like, lucky things happen all the time to us. We love it. So we want you to play lucky girl syndrome as well. This works really well if you've got someone who you can like message. Me and Laura message each other and say, hey, lucky girl, I feel so lucky today, and tell each other the lucky things that have happened. You guys can play it with us if you want. You can send us messages, you can tell us how lucky you are, but this stuff works. Like, if you feel lucky, your mind's going to say, oh, we're lucky, quick, we better find the evidence that we're lucky, find those opportunities. You're basically brainwashing yourself into opportunities. That's why it's so important. So we want you to play the lucky girl syndrome with us. And to start, you can literally just look around and see the things already in your life that is really lucky, things that you're grateful for. Like Laura's already mentioned, a roof over her head, food on the table, she's warm,
basic human rights,
basically water. But lots of people don't have that, so it's important to be grateful for those things to start with. But yeah, they are basic human rights. You're absolutely right, we all need those.
Literally. Like, just be grateful for the little things. No, but this is the thing, isn't it? Like, lucky girl syndrome. If you go into the day being like, I am so lucky, the lucky things are going to come. And they do. And I'm really excited for this lucky girl today because I'm working from home, I'm still actively going to go out. So I know on my 3 walks that I've got planned, 3 lucky things are going to happen.
I can't wait to hear about the lucky things.
I'm really excited for the luck today. I've written a really great vibe. Something's
Oh, I love it. So that's the other thing, you can journal these things. You can decide already. You can say like, I'm so lucky. You can script as well. You can be like, you can write how you want your day to go before it's happened.
We do this on an evening, like in different capacities. I'll plan out my entire day, usually with a time. That's all sick too. But and then I imagine the day, and then it's already happened in my head. So then I'm already open to kind of seeing the opportunities and the luck come my way because I'm not focused on the to-do list. That's boxed.
Yeah,
where's the fun stuff, guys?
And then your mind's like programmed to look for it because sometimes fun stuff passes you by. Like, do you know what? Once you lock your brain into this, you'll realise how much opportunities and stuff you've just walked past without even realising. You've got to stay open to make these Delulus, Trululu. That is the solulu to Delulu. The solution to being delusional is deciding that you have that thing or deciding you're going to have that thing, because then your mind will look for it. If you say, well, my wishes, my goals, my dreams, they are like a literal delusion, like it's never going to happen, your mind goes, oh, this is never happening, cool, then I'm just closed off to everything that's going to lead you there. That's why this is so important.
You are a lucky girl because lucky girls get lucky things.
Yeah, and everything's always working out perfectly for you. You have to know that. Right, okay, so thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Laura, have you got anything to add before we leave?
No, I just hope you all have a really gorgeous day. Happy spring. Stay lucky and keep listening so we can help you make your Delulus.
Yeah,
Trululu with our solulus.
Yeah, send us your Delulus. We'll solve them for you on the podcast. We'll come up with Delulus on the podcast, won't we? Also message us your Delulus.
Oh yeah. So like we're obviously talking about ours at the moment, but if you've got anything, send it to us. And if you want to play Lucky Girl, then message us down below, comment, inbox us. And we're also trying to grow on other platforms because we want to go live. So find us on YouTube, find us on, where else are we? TikTok.
Yeah.
Everything else in between, but we'll put it down in the show notes.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Have the most amazing day. We will see you at the next episode. Bye.
Stay lucky, lucky girls.